Imagine this, you're in the middle of a disagreement. Not a yelling match, but one of those quiet, tense ones. Where every sentence is measured, every look a silent challenge. You feel the pressure rising in your chest. You're ready to make your point, to prove you're right. But the other person? They're doing the same thing. No one's really hearing anyone. You're not speaking to understand, you're speaking to win. And just when you're about to make that final argument, a quiet thought crosses your mind. Why am I doing this? Not out of fear. Not because you're unsure. But because, deep down, you sense the battle is already lost. Not by facts. Not by logic. But by something more subtle, a loss of self-command. Let's explore the surprising power of restraint. And why true strength often hides in silence. The trap of reaction. Most people think that engaging in debate is a sign of intelligence, of strength. But often, it's the opposite. When you're pulled into defending your ego, you're no longer in control, you're being controlled. Why do we argue so fiercely? Because we feel threatened. Because being wrong feels like weakness. Because silence feels like surrender. But here's the paradox. In the attempt to protect ourselves, we often give others power over us. Every emotional reaction is a thread we hand to someone else, allowing them to pull at us, manipulate us, provoke us. The more reactive you are, the more predictable you become. And the more predictable you are, the less power you truly have. Inner authority over outer victory. What if you didn't need to win the argument? What if you didn't need to prove anything at all? There's a rare kind of person who walks away. Not because they're defeated, but because they're beyond the need to fight. This isn't passivity. It's not weakness. It's the calm of someone who knows who they are. It's the quiet confidence of someone who realizes that arguments are rarely about truth, and often about identity, insecurity, and illusion. In philosophy, this idea appears again and again. From Stoics like Epictetus, who taught that no man is free who is not master of himself, to Eastern thinkers who see speech not as power, but as a test of inner stillness. Silence is not absence. It's presence, amplified. It forces the other person to fill the space. It makes them uncomfortable, question their words, and expose their intent. The one who controls the silence often controls the conversation. They wait. They observe. And when they speak, it matters. There's a power in the pause. Not the awkward kind, but the intentional kind. That shows you're not in a rush to prove yourself. Real influence doesn't come from being louder. It comes from being less reactive. From choosing when and how to respond. Or if you need to respond at all. Think of someone like Marcus Aurelius. A Roman emperor, yet a man of few, meaningful words. He didn't conquer by force of speech, but by clarity of mind. Or look at someone like Bruce Lee. A warrior who said, "Be like water. Adaptable. Calm. Powerful. Not by clashing, but by flowing around opposition." Or even someone like Oprah, who mastered the power of the pause. Letting silence draw out truth from others, without ever needing to force it. These individuals didn't win arguments. They won attention. They earned respect. Not by speaking constantly, but by speaking consciously. So the next time you're pulled into a confrontation, pause, not out of fear, but out of mastery. Ask yourself, do I need to prove I'm right? Or do I want to stay in control? Because real power isn't loud. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't flare up when challenged. It holds its ground without noise. And in that silence, in that stillness, you'll find a strength that no argument can ever match.